Alrighty, so if you have not seen this video, get ready to cringe with me.
Oh no.
Instagram influencer with their grandma talking about how excited are they for euthanasia, essentially trying to inspire people to get behind the idea to make this a more normalized thing. Cringe.
What are your thoughts as you like move closer to the date?
It's like the light at the end of the tunnel.
What are some of the precursors, like the questions they ask to make sure you're doing it for the right reason?
Your diagnosis is, if it's fatal, how many more months you have. They give you time to consider. They keep stressing the fact that you can always change your mind.
What is the actual day like?
I know, like, they set an appointment, initial injection, putting you to sleep, and the big pain is the prick in the hand to provide for the...
She doesn't really look like she's in that much pain. I'm gonna be honest.
The little valves, and then once you're in a deep sleep, there are two other injections you get. At that point, you go. So it's painless.
Would you prefer it be at home?
Well, I think in my case, I would like to do it at the hospital. I came in quietly. I'd like to go out quietly.
Are you nervous? Are you excited? How do you feel?
Looking forward to it. Just putting an end to being dependent. No control.
So as the day approaches, is it something you're thinking about every day, or
no,
just
no,
it's going to happen when it happens?
Yeah, when I'll be ready, I'll know.
Yeah.
I've always made my own decisions for myself. In living, I trust I will in death. I do believe my husband is there saying it's about time. And I'll say, hi, hon, I'm here. That's it.
I will say that actually depresses me. I do understand the sentiment of like the dearly departed wanting to be with somebody who's not here. But still, man. Still.
And the multiverse, there's a you and me the word.
But again, like my first point, she's over here dancing, bro. Like, how much pain are you really in? This is that whole thing where it's like, I find it hard to believe some people when they're like, oh, dude, my life, it's so much pain that I'm in, dude. And it's like, bro, you're walking. What? I don't know. Maybe that's just my hot take. But before I go any further, you probably noticed the nice merch material I got on. Go woke, go baroque. That is from the Mean Tweets. You can find them on Facebook, TikTok. I'll put links to them in the description below as well. You can use promo code REDPILL10 to get a discount on merchandise that kicks back and supports me, as well as supports his brand and keeps the message and mission moving forward. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Now, this is where I'd like to show some of this pushback here. Obviously from Matt Walsh, man, that brother's preaching all the time. We now have Instagram influencers making inspirational videos about euthanasia. Are you excited? She asked her grandmother, who's about to be put down. Now, I don't like the framing that he has in this tweet because it's not like she was like in there like, are you ready, grandma? Like, let's go. She did pretext it with like, are you nervous? Like, are you excited? How do you feel? I'm paraphrasing, maybe that's exactly what she said. So it's a little disingenuous, I guess. I mean, Matt Walsh doesn't do that very often. But I do agree with the second point here. We need to stop using words like Orwellian to describe our culture. It makes things seem better than they really are. Things are already Orwellian. We're already living in that period of time. But he continued on these thoughts today, specifically because he saw that there wasn't enough legitimate pushback to what this euthanasia and this influencing and this woke garbage is pushing, essentially. And so Matt Walsh starts off saying there are conservatives actually defending Canada's euthanasia program. You people are hopeless. You will never learn. You're useless. 5 years from now, when euthanasia is the hot new TikTok trend for teens, you'll finally speak out, but it'll be too late. You never learn. And honestly, this is a side point because I was thinking this as I was making this. If you consider yourself a Christian, if you consider yourself anyone who's read the Bible and holds any of that with any amounts of credence or legitimacy, what will let go and let live do besides continue the human nature of which we all know is destined to be evil? The human is born evil. You are born with original sin. You are born a stained image that God can barely look at. And conservatives want to say, well, just let people do what they want. That is offering zero resistance to the evil in the world and is in fact cowering away from what God calls you to do. Now, you don't need to come as far as me with the religious backing behind it, but even if you are someone who understands that humans lean towards being disgusting creatures rather than holy beings, you would then realize why let go and let live is not, it's not a solution. It's an accepted loss. It's a, I don't want to stick my neck out and neither should you. Quite literally enticing the cowardless, spineless responses I see on the street, I see from my friends, I see from the community. But we'll all sit here and complain online about it, but very few will go in public and stick their necks out. For example, when you take on the transgender swimming team and only one girl has her thumbs down.
To put it simply, the women who are not directly impacted say nothing, and the only one who actually complains is the one who got bumped. Welcome to living in a world with no community or solidarity.
But every single one of those other girls are just standing there. They don't care, and they're not going to stick their neck out. They feel no duty, no obligation to their neighbor. Why would they care to stick up for you? They don't know you. You're a stranger. What do they get from it? What's the reward? Continuing on the let go and let live, we'll continue to watch people get crushed and trampled. And you'll feel bad as you watch the video as it happened. But it didn't mean anything, and it didn't do anything. And responding afterwards towards the event already happened does so very little. But what it does do is it provides a timeline that we can consistently see that the right constantly folds under pressure, constantly chooses to not stand up in any legitimate or meaningful way, decides to play the game along with the left, pick in with the narrative, use their words, use their language. But moving on, if I have to explain to you why it's bad for doctors to put down human beings like dogs, then there's no point. We aren't on the same side. You're a patsy for the left. You're too stupid to bother with. I'm tired of always having to wait for the dumbest conservatives to catch on. Some of us have been right about every single cultural issue. We have been vindicated about everything, every issue. Maybe you should start listening to us. Even if you aren't smart enough to understand the points we're making, just look at the track record. We're always right. And like what I just said, just building a timeline of just seeing conservatives complain and cry after the fact. Always pointing to the fact that they were never doing anything, never standing in the way, never being the barrier between you and the groomer and the child. But you will sit there and say, oh, I feel bad. Woe is me. Woe is the kid. But you won't stick your neck out. And I agree 100% with the sentiment Matt Walsh was pushing here. I have no sympathy for that. Do not be a coward. Transgenderism, abortion, gay marriage. We told you where it would all lead. We were right. Now we're telling you where euthanasia leads. We'll be right about that too. We're already right. But these dummies need to actually see the dystopian horror show before they'll believe it. And honestly, I don't know if any more truer words have been spoken in the last 24 hours. This has been another Real Time Red Pill. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.